All right, yo, what's up, YouTube family? So, little update on the 63 project. It's Friday. If you just got off the live stream, you already saw this stuff, but more likely you're seeing this on a Monday or something like that because this is going to be part of a future video. But the update is we basically have completed the repair on the rear lower quarter, with barring the exception of some real minor finesse work. But all in all, the body work has been smoothed out nicely, blends in nicely from filler to metal. Rub your hand over, it feels real good. But there is some very, very, very light touches I can make to just be, you know, what you call it, put my best foot forward, so to speak, just. And since I don't, I'm not on any really deadline, it only makes sense to do my very, very best with it. So tomorrow being Saturday, I plan to probably do that little bit extra I was talking about. I just started on the passenger side lower fender. Like I said, when I say started, I started sanding because this work down here was already done. So all I'm doing now is sanding down that old filler to get a look at the repair and how much filler they have on there, etc. And at first glance, it's not that much filler. Yeah, I think the repair is probably identical to what we have on the driver's side, which is a very good lower fender metal patch, right? And just the filler is just there to cover up the welds. So looks good. I mean, it's not 100% complete, so I still need to do some work to finalize it. But I'm happy with what I see so far from sanding that down. So I don't have enough time to do it right now because today is still Friday. I'm still on my after work vibe. I'm tired. I start my days really early, and right now, let's see what time is it. It's just after 4 p.m. I'm at work at 6 a.m. at my day job, and then I come here afterwards, late afternoon, and put in a couple hours, and I kind of already done that. So I'm kind of spent right now. I need to recharge my battery, so I'm gonna take not take a break, but I'm gonna hit the pause button and save that until tomorrow. And when I come back tomorrow, I'm gonna, like I said, do the minor finesse work in the rear there, take care of that passenger fender, and then get on this one. As you can see, the repair there is a really good one. Overall, this is a hella clean fender for a 1963. You wouldn't find it like here in Michigan, but like I said, this car didn't come from Michigan. So someone had a minor rust spot down there, and the previous owner fixed it. So all I have to do is round that out with a little bit of body filler, sand it out. And while I'm here, I'm seeing little other imperfections. I gotta go over the whole car and work on little areas like that and get it prepped for paint. Because the idea is once I finish this last bit of body work, I'm just gonna finish de-trimming it. Like take those fender badges off. Take that insignia off, pop the mirrors off, pop the door handles off. Majority of the trim is off, but it couldn't hurt to take this off, and same with the door trim. So probably pull all that stuff off, tape the car up real good, and start masking it off, getting it ready for paint. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I still got to repair this, and that's where I'm still, yeah, I'm leaving the hardest part for last. So still need to do that. But I just wanted to give you guys a status because we're trying to document everything. And I didn't catch that part on the live because I was busy running my mouth and not working. I wrapped up the work that I had scheduled for today. So all in all, I'm in good shape. So I figured let me document it now. Right now, I just need to clean up because I don't like to leave the place messy. And also because we're getting some rain overnight, I need to, put the car covers back on all the cars and, move some stuff around so it's not in a known wet spot and don't get all, messed up. So that's where I'm at with it now. And overall, I'm happy. So hopefully you guys like what you see and you appreciate the progress. Make sure you show us that by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Check out the 63 Impala playlist if you want to see where we started off with this and how we got to this point. And that way you can also continue to follow the progress as we move forward and do even more with the car. You know, it's an iterative thing, right? I can't do it all in one day. And rather than just make one long video that shows everything from start to finish, I wanted to show you guys the step by step. That way you could follow along. You may be trying to restore your own at home. Maybe you've never done this before and now you want to try. So some of this could be a guide for you and a help. So with that said, that's it for today. We'll catch you guys very soon in the next one, so stay tuned. What up, YouTube family? We're back in the shop on Saturday, and as fate would have it, we had heavy rain overnight. So the work area is kind of wet, but fortunately, where we need to concentrate, which is in the front fender area, is fairly dry. Another good news too, I found my 3M respirator, so I can be safe now when sanding, not breathing all that crap, you know. So, but yeah, so as we said yesterday, we sanded it down a bit. I'll probably go ahead and knock it down a little bit more and then hit it with some fresh filler, get that a chance to cure up and sand it out. And let's see, let's jump over to the other side. I'm thinking maybe I'll just go ahead and hit this at the same time. Although I need to use a different tool, flap wheel, and knock down that surface rust off of there because I don't want to apply filler straight over that. It's a recipe for disaster. So I'll do that. And it's kind of wet in this spot too, but not too bad, not too bad. So I'm not gonna let it stop me. Like I said before, no days off. We're trying to get this thing done. So sticking to that script and to the formula, I'm gonna continue the progress and put in some work. And yeah, so hopefully when all is said and done today, I'll have these two fenders knocked out and in primer. So then it's really gonna be just a matter of de-trimming the car and starting to mask it off. And of course the financial piece of it, I gotta go purchase the paint and get the game plan together on what we're gonna do. There's, I think, other small areas on the car that may need some light touch up. There's really, thankfully, not too many like dings and dents, but there's just little stuff where, like for example, this cowl, the wiper cowl, needs to be sanded down, and I'm trying to decide on if I'm gonna keep the antenna in this fender or not. I might need to patch that hole up and do a little bit of work there, and you know, just a couple light spots, like stuff like this, where you know I might just scuff that down a little bit and hit it with some glaze putty. Just real minor areas. As you guys have already seen, overall this car is clean. You know, there's no heavy dents and dings on any of the panel. It's just these a couple issues with the rear quarter that needed to be addressed. I do have to do a little bit in this dog leg piece too, so I can't forget about that. And could be a surprise waiting for me under there, so slightly nervous about that, but we'll see. It has to be done. So, I mean, the body work is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but we're getting much closer, okay? And I saved the hardest parts for last, so we'll just have to deal with that as it comes. And weather permitting, throughout the next couple of days, we'll be able to knock some of this out. Okay, that's it for now. Just a quick update, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. All right, guys, so far I've been putting some more work on this fender. I pretty much got it sanded out pretty nicely, you know, so I didn't need to go all crazy like I thought at first and maybe sand out all of that previous Bondo. The work looks like it was pretty decent. They just put it on a little bit heavy and left it a bit exposed, but as you can see, a big amount of it didn't really need to be there, was sanded off. But what I did find is there is one little low spot where, I don't know, maybe when they did the repair, somebody pressed a little too hard on the metal. I don't know what happened, but it's not nothing major. What I'm gonna do is just go ahead and hit this area with a skim coat of the glaze putty, the good old glaze putty that we used on the rear area. And today I'm not really using the DA sander for this. I'm using just a hand block. So Durablock, a small hand block, because it's a small area and I don't want to overdo things if I were to break out the DA. You know, it doesn't make sense to turn on the air compressor and all of that for that small area. So yep, so now I'm gonna mix up some glazed putty, wipe this area, and give it a chance to set up. So that's what we'll do, and I'll come back to you guys after we got the glazed putty spread. All right, guys, so we just laid out the glazed putty, the dolphin glaze. Mixed up a little bit more than I needed. Now I'm wishing that I would have prepped that other fender so I could have not wasted that material and used it over there, because I really only need about that much over there. But anyway, it happened. So even though I only needed some in a small area, I went ahead and wiped the whole area just in case there were any unforeseen or, you know, imperfections that I couldn't see with the naked eye. They tend to jump out once you primer it. So anyway, we got to give this about another 20 minutes to set up, and we'll address it. While I was here, I did also notice like the bottom part of this door has some issue going on. Nothing major yet, but I need to address that too before we paint it. So I have to sand that down and most likely apply a little bit of filler there and do the same kind of work we did right here and duplicate it right there, because otherwise that's gonna bubble up on us. And there's little things that have to be sanded down, like you see these little chips. You don't want to try to paint over that, right? That'll show up. So I need to sand all that stuff down, prime it, maybe even hit it with a little glazing putty and sand it out flush, so we get a nice, flat, smooth paint job when we get ready to lay down the color on this car. So that's it, guys. So as expected, we're making decent progress. Hopefully I'll have enough time to bring this back to you while it's sanded out, at least the initial pass, and all goes well, we'll even get some primer on it. So as always, stay tuned, more to come. All right, guys, we're back, and that's pretty much how it all sanded out. Nice and smooth after the glazing putty was dried, and I hit it again, sanded it down. So as you can see, overall, it's a very small amount of filler. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some primer to this area to seal that up. You can see there is some bare metal that got exposed. That's how it goes when you're sanding, right? And you're trying to blend it in as flush as possible. So all in all, it's good. It's good to go for what we're doing with this car. So, yep. Let me go ahead and hit it with the primer, and I'll come back to you guys in a little bit. And just a little quick tip I thought I'd mention too. I'm getting ready to primer it, but since it's in such close proximity to the door, I'm not gonna go through all the trouble of trying to mask off the door. I just open the door. And as you can see, there's enough of a gap to where I can get in there and paint that without getting a bunch of paint and overspray on the door. So just wanted to mention that. I thought that was worth mentioning. I am also gonna wipe off some of this dust too, right? Because that'll just mix with the primer and be all nasty. So I'm gonna wipe that smooth and clean, and then go ahead and apply the primer. Yep, and there we go, guys. Just like that. The primer is applied. It's still drying, but we got a nice smooth repair. I gotta go back to the door. And there's that one little dip right there. But it was kind of there in the metalwork, and I just left it there. But looking at it, it irritates me a little bit, so I might just straighten it out. But all in all, it was that was easy. Yeah, so that part is taken care of. Like I said, I got to come back and do this little section here on the door, but yeah, we'll get to it. Overall, like I said, I still got to go back there and apply a little more primer. I might just do that now. But I'm just looking at the wheel where there's a little areas where I need to do a little more sanding, but that's nothing. I'll take care of that. But for the most part, I would say this side of the car is about 90% done. It's good enough to where we can move on. We'll come back and do that door piece. Maybe it's the last thing we do before we get ready to paint it. So what I'm gonna do now, jump over to the other side, sand down the surface rust. We might as well show it to you guys again. So as you guys know, we got a little repair that's already been done right here. So, but it's been exposed to the elements and we're in a wet spot. So it soaked up some surface repair rust. So I'm just gonna now sand that down with a grinder with a flap disc on it and hit it with a little bit of filler. And we should be good to go to let that cure and sand. So stay tuned. Yeah, guys, like I said, we're gonna go back with some more of the dolphin glaze. Same stuff we've been using, the Impala dolphin glaze. And it's a very, what should I call it? It's a easy to work with, right? Compared to the bottom, it's not thick at all. It's really kind of soupy. You see how it's just dripping off of the spreader. So, and we just need a little bit for that one area on that lower fender. So let me go ahead and put a little bit of hardener. I keep putting too much, but really that's all we need. That's all we need, because we'll get, the thing is once you mix in this hardener, it quickly starts to set up. Oh shit, hurry up. Okay. Now you mix it up and you start to see the color change, and when you see less very blue, and you know, like, see already right there, it's already mixed up enough. All right guys, so let me cut the video and go spread this real quick. All right guys, we went ahead and just wiped some dolphin glaze. We put more than we needed, and honestly I could have did a little better job, but it doesn't matter. Majority of that is going to sand off. So yeah, we just got to let it dry up now, and we'll sand it off a little bit. And depending on how it sands out, we may have to put one more layer of the dolphin glaze. But like I said, I put on more than I needed to start with, so we'll see. That's just a TBD. We'll see what happens in a minute. All right, thanks for riding with us. I don't know if we're gonna get to sand it out in this episode, but if we do, you'll see it in this video. If not, that'll be part of the next video. So hang in there, and thanks for riding with us. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, and stay tuned. There'll be more to come for this build on this 1963 Chevy Impala. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here, and for now, we are out. All right, guys, so sanded it down, and you might be able to see, it might come out on camera, but there's one low spot. So you can see one darker area that looks like it didn't get sanded. So just a little spot I missed. So I'm just gonna mix up with a little bit more of the glaze putty, cover that up, and we should be good. Once that cures up, to sand it down, it should be good to go and ready for primer. So that's where we're at with it. All right, guys, thanks. Okay, all right, guys, so I just wiped that last little bit of glaze and putty to kind of fill that one low spot. Just all it needed was just a little bit, but it's gonna take another 20 minutes to set up, and I don't have enough time left today to stay here and wait it out. So at the point where we're gonna give it a little bit, because I need to put the car cover on it, and I for sure don't want the car cover sticking to that spot. You know, that would be all bad, especially since this car cover has like that fuzzy liner on there. that would be a mess. So don't make that mistake. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes, but I don't have time to. What I'm getting is I don't have time to sand it out and then prime it and all of that. It's kind of wet, but hopefully it's not too bad. With the glazing putty, that helps to seal the pores a little bit, so it shouldn't soak up a ton of moisture or anything like that. So I think we'll be okay for it to wait for another day. So most likely that'll be Monday. Yep. So by that time you'll probably already be watching this video, so you'll get that in the next video. So yep, thank you once again, everybody. You know, that's how it goes sometimes. You don't get everything you want to do accomplished, but we got really close. I was saying we got, you could borderline 85% done with what we wanted to do. So, hey, we'll take it. You see the place is wet as hell, you know, roof issues. Yeah, but it is a nice day. It is exceptionally hot, but It's still fairly early in the day on Saturday. Man, the grass is growing up tall again. I need to cut the grass. Again, that's probably something for Monday. I was supposed to trim some branches off a tree in the alley today, but shit, I don't feel like doing it now. So Monday it is. Monday's supposed to be a nice day. Oh man, that alley work is gonna be hard as I need my truck, and I'm probably gonna drive the 6'4" on Monday. Whatever, we'll get to it. Maybe I'll pull up tomorrow and do it. But I typically, tomorrow is Sunday, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm giving you a long outro, I guess. But recap, we took care of this fender. We didn't really need to touch anything on the back there. We were just working on this front fender, and it is in good shape. And now we're just on the other side dealing with that. So that's it for now. Thanks. You know, you guys know what time it is. It's your host, Shawnee C. from Motor City Customs. And another episode under our belts. We are out.